Greetings, Wizards! Today we're doing an introduction to the Wizard class for Dungeons & Dragons, looking at the changes from 5th edition to D&D 2024, going over the core traits, levels 1, 2, and 3, up until your subclass or arcane tradition. Who are Wizards? Wizards are those that have dedicated themselves to the study of arcane magic. And with thoughtful application of that magic, they are able to create a myriad of effects. A wizard's only limitation is their imagination. Some wizards you may be familiar with are Merlin from Arthurian legend, Gandalf from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, Hermione Granger from the Harry Potter series, Jaina Proudmoore from Warcraft, Skeletor from Masters of the Universe, and Frieren from Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Core traits. Core traits of the wizard are a hit die of a d6, saves of intelligence and wisdom. Skills are 2 from Arcana, History, Insight, Investigation, Medicine, and Religion. Weapons are simple weapons. In 5th edition, they were given a small list of simple weapons. Now they get all simple weapons in D&D 2024. Armor is none, and the starting equipment is 2 daggers, an arcane focus, a quarterstaff, a robe, a spellbook, a scholar's pack, and 5 GP, or 55 GP. Both of these options also come with 50 GP from your background. Before we go much further, I'd like to take a moment and ask you to consider liking and subscribing. It really helps out the channel. Thank you. Level 1. Spellcasting. You know 3 cantrips from the wizard spell list. You gain more cantrips as you level in this class, gaining a new cantrip at level 4 and another at level 10. When you complete a long rest, you may exchange a wizard cantrip that you know for another. The suggested cantrips are Light, Mage Hand, and Ray of Frost. Light. Evocation cantrip. Casting time, 1 action. Range, touch. Components, verbal and material. A firefly or phosphorescent moss. Duration, 1 hour. You touch 1 large or smaller object that isn't being worn or carried by someone else. Until the spell ends, the object sheds bright light in 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet. The light can be colored as you like. Covering the object with something opaque blocks the light. The spell ends if you cast it again. Mage Hand. Conjuration cantrip. Casting time, 1 action. Range, 30 feet. Components, verbal and somatic. Duration, 1 minute. A spectral floating hand appears at a point you choose within range. The hand lasts for the duration. The hand vanishes if it is ever more than 30 feet away from you, or if you cast the spell again. When you cast the spell, you can use the hand to manipulate an object, open an unlocked door or container, stow or retrieve an item from an open container, or pour the contents out of a vial. As a magic action, on later turns, you can control the hand thus again. As part of that action, you can move the hand up to 30 feet. The hand can't attack, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds. Ray of Frost. Evocation cantrip. Casting time, 1 action. Range, 60 feet. Components, verbal and somatic. Duration, instantaneous. A frigid beam of blue-white light streaks toward a creature within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, it takes 1d8 cold damage, and its speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of your next turn. Cantrip upgrade. The damage increases by 1d8 when you reach levels 5, 11, and 17, maxing out at 4d8. Spellbook. You gain a wizard spellbook that is a tiny object with 100 pages. It weighs 3 pounds and can only be read by you or someone casting Identify. This book contains your spells of 1st level and higher. Starting when you gain this feature, you know 6 1st level spells from the wizard spell list. When you gain a wizard level, you learn 2 new spells that you have spell slots for. The suggested spells are Detect Magic, Featherfall, Mage Armor, Magic Missile, Sleep, and Thunderwave. Detect Magic. Level 1 Divination. Casting time, 1 action, or Ritual. Range, Self. Components, verbal and somatic. Duration, concentration up to 10 minutes. For the duration, you sense the presence of magical effects within 30 feet of yourself. If you sense such effects, you can take a magic action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears the magic. And if an effect was created by a spell, you learn the spell's school of magic. The spell is blocked by 1 foot of stone, dirt or wood, 1 inch of metal, or a thin sheet of lead. Featherfall. Level 1 Transmutation. Casting time, a reaction, which you take when you, or a creature you can see within 60 feet of you, falls. Range, 60 feet. Components, verbal, material, a small feather or piece of down. Duration, 1 minute. Choose up to 5 falling creatures within range. A falling creature's rate of descent slows to 60 feet per round until the spell ends. If a creature lands before the spell ends, the creature takes no damage from the fall, and the spell ends for that creature. Mage Armor. Level 1 Abjuration, casting time, 1 action, range, touch, components, verbal, somatic, material, a piece of cured leather, duration, 8 hours. You touch a willing creature who isn't wearing armor. Until the spell ends, the target's AC becomes 13 plus its dexterity modifier. The spell ends early if the target dons armor. Magic Missile. Level 1 Evocation, casting time, 1 action, range 120 feet, components, verbal and somatic, duration, instantaneous. You create 3 glowing darts of magical force. Each dart strikes a creature of your choice that you can see within range. A dart deals 1d4 plus 1 force damage to its target. The darts all strike simultaneously, and you can direct them to hit one target or several. Using a higher level spell slot, the spell creates 1 more dart for each spell slot level above 1. Sleep. Level 1 Enchantment, casting time, 1 action, range, 60 feet, components, verbal, somatic, and material, a pinch of sand or rose petals. Duration, concentration up to 1 minute. Each creature of your choice in a 5-foot radius sphere centered on a point within range must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or have the incapacitated condition until the end of its next turn, at which point it must repeat the save. If the target fails the second save, the target has the unconscious condition for the duration. The spell ends on a target if it takes damage, or someone within 5 feet of it takes an action to shake it out of the spell's effect. Creatures that don't sleep, such as elves, or that have immunity to the exhaustion condition, automatically succeed on saves against this spell. Thunderwave. Level 1 Evocation, casting time, 1 action, range, self, components, verbal, and somatic, duration, instantaneous. You unleash a wave of thunderous energy. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage only. In addition, unsecured objects that are entirely within the cube are pushed 10 feet away from you, and a thunderous boom is audible within 300 feet. Using a higher level spell slot, the damage increases by 1d8 for each spell slot level above 1. Spell slots. You have 2 first level spell slots at level 1, and you gain more spell slots as you level in this class, gaining access to the next level spell slots at odd levels, stopping at 9th level spell slots at level 17. Prepared spells. You prepare a list of 4 first level spells from your spellbook. You gain more prepared spells as you gain levels in this class, gaining additional prepared spells every level except 12. If another wizard feature gives you spells that are always prepared, they do not count against the number of spells that you may prepare. Your spellcasting ability for wizard spells is Intelligence, and your spellcasting focus for wizard spells is an Arcane Focus. Ritual Adept. You may cast any spell with the ritual tag from your spellbook without having to prepare it. You must, however, read the spell from your spellbook while casting it as a ritual. Arcane Recovery. Upon completing a short rest, you may regain expended spell slots of 5th level or lower whose levels equal up to half your wizard level, rounded up. You regain the use of this feature upon completing a long rest. Level 2. Scholar. Gain expertise, double your proficiency bonus, in a skill in which you are already proficient from the list of Arcana, History, Investigation, Medicine, Nature, or Religion. Arcane Tradition from 5th edition has been moved to level 3. Level 3. At level 3, you gain your subclass or your Arcane Tradition. The options are Abjurer, Diviner, Evoker, and Illusionist. Abjurer. Abjuration Savant, previously at level 1. It used to be, reduce the gold and time to copy abjuration spells into your spellbook by half. This part is no longer there. Now, when you gain this feature at level 3, you add 2 wizard spells of the Abjuration School to your spellbook, and when you gain access to a new level spell slot, you may add a new abjuration spell from the wizard spell list to your spellbook for free. Arcane Ward, previously at level 2. The first time you cast an abjuration spell of first level or higher, after completing a long rest, you create an Arcane Ward. It has hit points equal to twice your wizard level, plus your intelligence modifier, and the ward takes damage before you do. Any damage that would reduce the ward to 0 hit points, with damage left over, deals the leftover damage to you. You can recharge the Arcane Ward by casting an abjuration spell of first level or higher, with the ward regaining hit points equal to twice the spell's level. This ward disappears upon completing a long rest. In D&D 2024, If you have any damage resistances or immunity, your ward also has them. And as a bonus action, you may expend a spell slot to recharge your ward, regaining hit points to the ward equal to twice the spell's level. Diviner. Divination Savant, previously at level 1, it used to reduce the gold and time to copy divination spells into your wizard spellbook by half. That part has been removed. In D&D 2024, you now add 2 wizard spells from the divination school to your spellbook when you gain this feature, and whenever you gain a new spell slot level, you may add 1 divination spell from the wizard spell list to your spellbook for free. Portent. Previously at level 2, upon completing a long rest, you roll 2d20s and set them aside. These are your portents. You can use either of these to replace any attack roll, saving throw, or skill check of yourself or a creature you can see with one of these rolls. Any unspent portents disappear after completing a long rest. In D&D 2024, it now just specifies that you can use it on any d20 roll. Evoker. Evocation Savant, previously at level 1, it used to reduce the gold and time to copy an evocation spell into your spellbook by half. That part has been removed. Now, when you gain this feature, you add 2 wizard spells from the evocation school to your spellbook, and whenever you gain a spell slot of a new level, you add 1 more evocation spell from the wizard spell list to your spellbook for free. Potent Cantrip. This feature is brand new in D&D 2024. When you miss an attack roll with a cantrip, or your target succeeds their save against a damaging cantrip, you deal half damage instead, but the target suffers no additional effects. Sculpt Spells from 5th edition is still here, but has been moved to level 6. Illusionist. Illusion Savant, previously at level 1, reduced the gold and time to copy an illusion spell into your spellbook by half. This part has been removed. Now when you gain this feature, you add 2 spells from the wizard spell list of the illusion school to your spellbook, and whenever you gain access to a new level of spell slot, you add a new illusion school spell to your spellbook for free. Improved Minor Illusion. Previously at level 2, is now called Improved Illusions in D&D 2024. Learn the Minor Illusion cantrip. If you already know it, you may learn 1 other wizard cantrip that does not count against the number of cantrips you know. When you cast Minor Illusion, you may make both an image and a sound with a single cast. In D&D 2024, you can now cast Illusion School spells without using the verbal components, and you can now cast Minor Illusion as a bonus action. This concludes the introduction to the Wizard class for Dungeons & Dragons. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing, or commenting down below what you think I could do better. Thank you.